for me, the biggest modality that came into my life that just flipped everything upside down was water. And not just any water, but living water. I stumbled upon this company called Enagic that is stationed in Japan. And I started doing some research on these devices that they make, knowing that they are OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. So everything down to the screws, the washers, the medical grade titanium plates that they utilize in the machine, everything was made in-house. They didn't outsource anything. And that really intrigued me because I was like, this could be a medical device, right? Lo and behold, it is. It is a certified medical device, and they use them in almost all of the hospitals and healing rehabilitation centers in Japan. Not only in Japan, but honestly, if you're smart about it, all over the world. The water is magic. I cannot tell you how important it is to be able to hydrate down to a cellular level. I did not realize that water is not just water up until about 3 years ago. And I will never go back to drinking what I call dead fat water.
Welcome to Souls on Tap. I'm Julianne Vaughn.
And I'm Jennifer Cross.
Today, we'd like to welcome Kate Day, who is a holistic registered nurse, herbalist, medical water specialist, and emotional mentor. Welcome to our show, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited.
So happy to have you.
We were talking about the difference in our body temperatures today. As everybody can see, I have on a turtleneck. Jen has on a sweater, which, by the way, her mother knitted. And then there's beautiful Kate with a sleeveless tank top.
Yeah, almost mid-December. Why not?
Right. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
So let's begin by your sharing what caused you to become a healer and the type of healing modalities that you work with.
What caused me to become a healer? I think it's not even like a cause, if that sounds like the most appropriate thing to say. For me, it was just always a inner knowing. And I definitely went through my fair share of some rough things, especially in my childhood, which, as we all know, can condition us, and that later on follows you into life. Yeah, it was just a lot of transmuting and alchemizing my experiences, and then realizing, hey, I'm really good at this. Like, what can I do with that? And that the awareness of that didn't come until later on down the line, especially until after I left Western medicine. I worked as a registered nurse through multiple family clinics and hospitals for a hot minute, especially during the pandemic, and that really burnt me out. My body had to go into shutdown mode.
Oh, I'm sure.
And yeah, God had to put me in timeout in order for me to realize that what I was doing was not aligned anymore. The foundational components of being in Western medicine were definitely things that I needed to carry with me as tools in my tool belt to move further in my journey, but it was not where I was meant to stay. So I went through the whole process of just losing my health, honestly. I was on a litany of medications. I had a cardiac device implanted in my chest. Emotionally and psychologically, I was not okay. Who was during the pandemic, especially working in the ER for me, like that was really, really trying. It was a really trying time for me. It was a lot to handle. And I gave myself a little bit of a break and then kind of navigated into herbalism. I just kept being called back to working with plants. And I got really curious about that because the pharmaceuticals that I was on, they were not, the side effects were horrible, heinous even. And I got to the point where I had been through so many specialists myself, especially at Vanderbilt, with all these like autonomic cardiologists and electrophysiologists and all these
Wow.
physicians that I had to wait months to years to get on a list to see. And then when I got there, they would do all this testing and they're like, well, we just don't know. Like, you got all these things, but when you put them together, like, it just doesn't make sense. And just thinking to myself, that can't be. Why is Western medicine failing me right now? What do I need to do? So I took it into my own hands and I went back to the land. And slowly I started to accumulate all of this research while working alongside the herbal practitioner that I was receiving guidance from. And little by little, I started kind of nicking out specific medications and doing it very slowly. And I mean, this is not by any means guidance for anybody to say, hey, throw all your meds in the trash and then take some herbs. No, that's not the way this works.
A little disclaimer there.
Right.
Be sure and check
Yes,
with your doctor first if you're on
please.
some life-saving medications.
In fact, I actually like to work alongside the physicians when I am treating my clients. But for me, the biggest modality that came into my life that just flipped everything upside down was water. And not just any water, but living water. I stumbled upon this company called Enagic that is stationed in Japan. And I started doing some research on these devices that they make, knowing that they are OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. So everything down to the screws, the washers, the medical grade titanium plates that they utilize in the machine, everything was made in-house. They didn't outsource anything. And that really intrigued me because I was like, this could be a medical device, right? Lo and behold, it is. It is a certified medical device, and they use them in almost all of the hospitals and healing rehabilitation centers in Japan. Not only in Japan, but honestly, if you're smart about it, all over the world. The water is magic. I cannot tell you how important it is to be able to hydrate down to a cellular level. I did not realize that water is not just water up until about 3 years ago. And I will never go back to drinking what I call dead fat water.
I just have to ask, what does the living water taste like?
It's amazing. I don't even know how to explain what it tastes like because if you think about how it's hydrating at a cellular level, it's really crisp, but there's something with the hydrogen because like it's actually getting into your taste buds. And I could go off on a tangent here and talk about what happens when you pair the living water with herbal allies and cooking even because it really pulls like flavonoids out of everything. I don't, it's just your body just instantly recognizes it. We are a water body and it's recognizing it as something that is ancient and home for sure.
Yeah.
Because Jennifer,
So,
you just started, right? Didn't you start
yeah,
drinking?
I've been doing it for about a month, right? Right, Kate?
Oh, I think it's been longer than that. Like
Maybe a
at
little
least
longer. 5 weeks,
6
6 weeks.
weeks, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The water to me tastes, this is a weird descriptive word, but soft. It's got a
Oh, yeah.
it's got a smoothness to it because of the alkalinity of it, and it's ionized. So it's got, you know, it's been um allowed to be corrected, if you will. Like
Mm.
it's the way it should taste. I imagine like if I could go to a stream and dip my hands in and drink the water, it would taste like this water. I've never done that. I'm, you know, I really know about Giardia.
Right.
So I've never done that, but I imagine that it would taste like this. There's like an airiness about it too, I think. And that's like, I know it's hard to imagine the way I'm describing it, but that's really how it tastes to me. It doesn't taste like minerally, and to me minerally is a flavor. The water does not have, to me, the water doesn't really have a flavor. It feels clean in my mouth.
I like that.
And it makes my mouth salivate almost.
What
Also,
more?
after I drink it. Yeah.
I tell my clients that they're gonna probably, if they start drinking this water, feel more like thirsty or even more dehydrated, because this is probably the first time that they have cellularly hydrated their bodies, where they've actually pulled the water molecules into their cells, and their bodies are like, wait, what? What is this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
rainfall on a cactus in the middle of the desert for the first time in a hot minute. You're
Yeah.
gonna want more. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do. And I know a lot of people who say, I just don't like water. Well,
That's
I understand
ironic to me,
that, yeah, I just don't like water,
because
but
we're made of
is
water.
that because
Right.
they don't know what water really tastes like? Because
Yeah,
what they're
I agree.
drinking is not a natural substance. It's not natural H2O. It's, and our body, by the way, it as soon as the water hits our body naturally changes H2O to H3O. And most people don't even know that. So even our bodies know that the water needs to have a little tweak.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I think that most people, when they start drinking this water, they realize, oh, I don't feel as bloated, or I don't feel weighed down and heavy. My kidneys don't feel like they're almost like congested. It's very interesting what cellular hydration can do for a water body. Truly.
Yeah. And I also find it very interesting that, and Kate, please talk on this. Um, a lot of people are not vegetarian. In fact, most. Pork is one of the meats that has a lot of parasitic activity in it, right, Kate?
And yeah, unfortunately.
And everybody that I know that eats meat loves bacon. It's like a huge thing. Give me some bacon, give me some sausage. And so they're eating pork, and they're eating, unfortunately, some things that are not good for your gut health.
Right.
And other things that go on. Can you talk about what this does for your gut health, and how your gut microbiome affects the rest of your body? And also, you changed from being an RN to being what do you call yourself? A natural, oh, what is your title now?
I kind of just stayed, I still have an active license.
Yes.
So I brand myself as a holistic registered nurse.
A holistic registered nurse.
Yes, but I am also an herbalist. So
Okay.
I kind of just pair those two modalities together
Mm-hmm.
to give a broad spectrum of what I encompass.
Yes. So if you have an ability now to hit both sides, allopathic and naturopathic sides of the spectrum. So can you give us
Right.
a breakdown of why this water is so important to your gut biome and gut health, and how it affects the rest of your body? Because I think that's one of the most amazing things that is accessible to everybody, literally. You don't have to have
Yeah,
a prescription. You don't have to, you know, go and buy a bunch of different things and throw them together. You need water.
right. Everybody, everybody needs it. Um, And the best way that I can give you a breakdown about what happens just naturally to most people that live, especially in the United States, is it's almost impossible to avoid artificial ingredients and unnatural substances. Like you find it in so many foods, so many things. And what happens when we ingest those things is it starts to coat the gut almost like in this weird biofilm and sludge that makes it really, really difficult to absorb the nutrients, the minerals, our vitamins, our medications. Anything that we are putting into our bodies is not being pulled through that layer, through that barrier of the gut and then out into the body, like into the bloodstream, and then properly metabolizing. And I have always said that we have three brains. We have like a brain in our brain, a brain in our heart, and a brain in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about where all of our serotonin is made, it's mostly in the gut.
Yeah.
If you have issues with depression, anxiety, nervousness, just not feeling like you have the will to live fully, a gut reset would help you out tremendously because sometimes it's not just our physical environment. Sometimes it's what we're ingesting and putting into our bodies also. And it just makes me so sad knowing that we've been like endowed and entrusted with as like the keepers of our own vessels, our own sacred vessels, like our souls entrusted ourselves to be in these physical vessels. And I don't know about everybody else, but I want to take care of what I've been gifted to navigate during this lifetime as my avatar. So I drink the water, and the water will slough all of your nasty junk out of your gut. And I was actually kind of a dumbass when I got my machine. I thought that I was pretty alkaline already. I was not. So there's a protocol for the water. You start out at 8.5 pH and then you increase or titrate up after a set amount of days to weeks. I started out at 9.5 because, like go big or go home. That's just the contrast, the polarity of everything that I do in life.
And so for those who don't know numbers regarding alkaline, 9.5 is really high alkaline, right?
Yes, and the machine actually goes from 2.5 pH all the way up to 11.
Okay.
But the drinking waters themselves are 7.0, and you are supposed to drink that when you ingest medications or make formula, any type of preparations for babies. Just because this water is microclustered. Anything that it is paired with, it is going to take the hand of and then pull straight into your cells. So one thing you shouldn't do is drink the water and then drink an energy drink. That's another thing that's a big no-no that I learned the hard way with. But
Especially the energy drinks that have all the sugar in it and
yeah,
on top of the caffeine. Yeah.
uh-huh,
Not good.
yeah.
So while we're
Yeah.
on the subject, what is your feeling about lab made meats? Because we're going there.
Oh, are
Oh,
we?
we're already
Okay.
there.
Sister, I don't want to
Campbell's.
stick, I'm not sticking anything in my body. I really try my hardest to do my research and stay up to par with like what's happening with big food right now. And the Maha movement, I've been following that a lot. And it's very curious.
What's Maha again?
Make America healthy again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember the name of the woman that is at the forefront of this. I always forget her name, but she's been going at it for years. And I like to basically just use my body as a tuning fork and also a scale to feel how I feel when I ingest specific things. And anything that's unnatural or has a lot of processed components to it, it makes you feel so weighed down and it makes it really difficult for me to connect to my higher self and to spirit.
Yeah.
And I just feel very disconnected as a human being when I ingest things that are man-made or lab-made. It's because there's no frequency involved in it. It's all dead.
Well, actually, I read about it and it's not all dead.
Okay, say more.
So, and there are those, there's a camp out there that believes very much so in ETs, and that we have that ETs from other dimensions or other planets or whatever have given us all kinds of technology. And there are a lot of planets out there where their inhabitants do not have to kill animals in order to feed their body. They know what they need nutritionally. And I think as long as we are creating this food in that light, and meaning that we no longer have to kill animals in order to eat, even though I also believe the animals and their contracts bring them to feeding us. It's their decision on a soul level, that it can be a really good thing. The problem is once we get the people who want to they don't care anything about the attributes or the positives. They only care about the money made. Once it becomes a corporate thing, that we have a problem. But this water, how is the living water made?
Oh, okay. So the machine is actually like a medical device, and it's so cool because I can actually put it in a backpack and you can fly with it on an airplane, which is so cool. Um, so it's about the size of a backpack, and you plug it into a electrical source. It has a grounding connector to it, so it has to be a three-prong outlet. And then you connect it to your water source. So running tap water is what I connect to. And then I use a pre-filter and then the filtration system that's inside of the machine. And the water is then run through the pre-filter into the machine through the another filter, and then it is bypassed over 8 medical grade ionizing plates where it is turned into a microcluster. It is reshaped, resized, and then dispensed out of the machine according to whatever pH it has been formatted into.
So that machine was probably created in a lab, right? So I'm just saying that it can be done with food and other nutrition as well. It's like,
Okay.
are we just going to screw that up too? Because I agree
I
with
mean,
you. I'm not putting anything in my body that I don't feel 100% confident that it's good for me.
But you don't, but it's so hard to know. I mean,
except for pecan
do
pie.
Do you know if you're eating Soylent Green?
Oh
I mean,
God, I
geez,
literally no. I saw something the other day where this woman was talking about logically how many cows would have to be killed to produce the number of burgers that fast food chains like
yeah.
sling out onto the market every day. And she was like, realistically, that's not even humanly possible. And I was like, oh, that's so gross. Because like what's in there?
Yeah, what's in there? And it's a lot of weird stuff, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
we just don't know right now. And I have my own method of avoiding that, which is just don't eat meat. But most people do eat meat, and that's fine, and I don't have a problem with it. But also I think that it's if I were going to eat meat, I would also bless the meat with my words, with my intentions, and also with sacred geometry. And even when I don't eat meat, I do that.
Just
and
like
I
I
think
do that with everything.
indigenous.
Everything.
especially with the water. The
Yes.
water is like in the thing that I know, the thing that I think is the most receptive to these frequencies, these energies, is water. It carries everything, all the memories, it carries everything for us. It's
I
life.
speak invocation into it every time I fill my jug back up, I speak an invocation into it specifically for what my intention is that day.
I know
And
a
then
lot
I
of
keep
people.
stones on there also.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's putting a frequency around and through what you're ingesting. I mean, that's so indigenous. It's what the indigenous people have done forever and ever and ever. By the way, the lab grown food, I say food because they're also talking about fruits and vegetables as well, Jim. Just wanted you to know that. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, and they also have genetically modified everything too.
Well, but this is supposed to be non-GMO. And again, I think it can be a wonderful thing, but it's, if we start, trying to, those that want to be rich, and there you have it, that the money is more important than our health. So we'll have to see. Again, there's that balance.
I look forward to the day when it's commonplace that we each have our own little greenhouse or what have you, that we can make our own food in our own way and what we like, and that's just the standard. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, that's something that I am striving to reach at this point in my life, for sure.
So, Kate, I've heard you in some of our conversations refer to emotional alchemy. You said it earlier today.
I was just thinking about that. That's interesting.
Well, hey.
Because you were talking about speaking invocation, into water and using sacred geometry. And that's a way that I transmute or alchemize what I am currently working through. I actually see it when it leaves my body, almost like a stream of energy. And there's a filter that occurs where it gets placed back into something else. And it's literally like me imbuing my own magic back into myself, which I think is so beautiful because I didn't realize that's what I was doing for the longest time. I like to speak to the water, and not just the water like physically in a vessel, but literally physically in a vessel. When I am doing transmutation and emotional alchemy work, I am speaking to the water body of that human being. And I know that's so like,
so your whole life is a living ritual.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Right on the dot. Absolutely.
That's so great. And I mean, because a living ritual doesn't necessarily, a lot of people are like, oh, like I would have time for that. I don't think people realize how
it's a lifestyle.
It's like, but how little time something like that takes. You don't necessarily have to burn incense and sit crisscross applesauce and do sound baths.
Perfect example.
You just can close your eyes and think it in within a matter of seconds, and it's done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I made myself. I got up super late this morning. I slept in a little bit later than normal, and I got up around like 6:50. And I know that we have to be like in the car headed to school drop off at the high school by 7:20, 7:25-ish, because she gets on my butt every morning, and I'm perfectly fine with that. She keeps me in order. So I woke up and I was making her lunch, and she's had a sore throat. So I gave her a sea salt gargle with the Kangen water, and I made her some herbal tea with the water and loaded her up on andrographis and high dose vitamin C. And I was like, all right, so I got a second, and I looked at the clock and I was like, I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I made myself a cup of tea. And then while it was steeping, I held it over my throat and I just invited all of those herbal allies. I invoked and called upon each one that was in that cup and let it steam up into my throat and open up my throat channel. And then I did my face, and then I spoke into it while I was stirring it in a clockwise formation. And I just asked that tea to please soften me, bring me into a state of receptivity, ground me in, and put a lovely protective shield that blocks anything that is of a lower vibration than my soul's light get it out of my field. I don't want it with me today. All of that took less than 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great. Yeah. See?
That's it.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which plant allies do you use on a daily basis?
Ooh.
And what do you recommend that we all try to pay attention to and use on a pretty regular basis, and why?
So I think that I can tell you what I do, and that's just basically it's off of my own energetics. It's what I feel like I'm work most compatibly with. So first thing in the morning when I wake up, I have a glass of water, which I speak an invocation into, depending on whatever my intention is for that day. And when it's warmer weather, I like to go outside and drink my water and then also give it as an offering. I'll actually pour it in a heart on the ground while I'm standing out there barefoot, grounding out for the morning, releasing whatever I picked up from the dreamscape, making sure that the energy I carry with me for the rest of the day is grounded and aligned. And then I come inside and do my Neuro Bloom tincture, which is a blend that I formatted off of rosemary, which is amazing for its cognitive abilities. I like to use it a lot with people that have early onset dementia and Alzheimer's symptoms. And then for ADHD, ADD, memory issues, just all of that. She's so amazing for that. But rosemary is so protective. So I have this tincture that I use for, I say ADHD every morning, but it's just dual purpose. It's the cognitive aspect of that, and then I'll ask the rosemary to keep my mind clear, keep it clear of all debris and distortion and residue so that I can focus on what my soul is needing me to focus on. And then it is paired with crossvine, which used to be given to, it probably still is, but it's not found in a lot of areas. It was given to field horses, work horses that were overexhausted and had chronic fatigue to introduce more healthy stamina and appropriate energy output. So those two paired together, I've been doing this for over a year and a half now. I use it every morning. And it just gives me that boost. It gets me clear-minded and it gets me going for the day. My tea blends alternate depending upon what I'm feeling. This morning, I was feeling a little bit, I don't want to say like malnourished because that's definitely not me, but I felt that I needed a good mineral kind of like vitamin support. So I did some stinging nettle. I love her. Everybody should be on stinging nettle. Don't eat it raw because it will sting you. It needs to be cooked or dehydrated and used in a tea. And I blended that with a little bit of my womb tea to help me kind of just soften and get myself into a receptive mode. And then what else? Rose. I keep my rose tincture in my car. I keep rose and mimosa tinctures in my car. I use mimosa for dealing with grief. I've gotten to this point in my life where I feel like I have just about, hopefully, transmuted and alchemized all of like the suppressed grief that I've been carrying that hasn't even fully been mine because I swear to God, half of it was ancestral.
Right. There you go. It's like what we were talking about
Right.
earlier. You know, you're
Yeah.
getting ready to make that shift, but getting rid of your karma and all of that bad
Yep.
energy.
And I'm keeping my heart open. My rose tincture, I love her. I call her the heart opener. She helped me get back into a state of receptivity. I was so closed off because I was in such a unhealthy masculine energy for so long, being a single mother and just doing it all, and also being brought up in a very hyper independent state. I didn't know how to receive. And I
Mhm.
was like, I've been on this journey of being single and celibate for quite some time now. And I've really been working on myself to form a divine union within myself so that I can call in my divine counterpart. And I wouldn't be where I am right now without these specific allies to help soften me, to help me receive, to help me be open, to help me grieve the shit that doesn't serve me anymore, to release the things that are weighing down my energetics and just don't need to be in my field anymore. Like these allies have helped me so much on this journey. And yeah, I'm just going to continue to really stay open to the next ally that Mama Gaia has planned for me to work with. As long as I am open and receptive, she always knows what to send me
Mhm.
so many times.
Isn't
And
that
I'm like,
amazing?
oh, maybe I should work with blue vervain today because my third eye's been wonky and I've been feeling kind of like a space cadet.
Mhm.
But also, I need to work on my boundaries type of situation. Yeah.
I've also heard you refer to the human body as an avatar that
Yes.
upgrades itself, but through devotion. So, what does self devotion look like to you? What does that mean?
I used to look at self-devotion as such a selfish thing. And that was just because I was conditioned to believe that.
That's the
And
whole Puritan thing.
yes, my
Yeah.
God, we are so,
We're
like,
not
I was
worthy,
so brainwashed.
right? And it goes
But then
back a
I
long
realized,
time.
yeah. And okay, so nursing and Western medicine in the ER, for example, I was doing everything I could to keep my love cup filled, sister. I was trying to eat the best foods. I was getting decent rest when I could allow myself to do that. I was hydrating with dead fat water, but I I learned better.
Hmm.
So self-devotion for me was I had to crash out and choose. I was forced to choose myself. And then slowly I started to realize that that was the foundational component of everything. I was like, I can't keep pouring from this half empty cup and it's draining me. But
Right.
also, I hear people say, well, you're only going to get the overflow. And I'm like, okay, well, isn't that kind of selfish if you have nothing to give? And I'm like, well, where can I get into a state where I'm constantly just overflowing my cup and transmuting my field just from the love that I'm pouring out of me for just taking care of myself,
Right.
for choosing myself first thing in the morning, setting a small amount of time, 3 minutes in the kitchen
Uh-huh.
to brew a cup of tea with an electric kettle, whatever, to get myself right before I get in the car with my daughter, who is probably a nervous wreck and has a gazillion things going
Mom,
on.
you're just now making your tea. I can hear it
Oh,
now.
I know. And I'm like, sister, you were, laying on your bed 5 minutes ago in a
Right.
pigsty of a room, but here we are. I love her so much. She is
I know. Yeah,
my little cancer crab. I love her.
a great,
So all
great.
this stuff that you have learned, have put together through not just reading a book, but through all of your experiences, on all different levels, physical level, emotional level, spiritual level. When people come to you and say, hey, Kate, I'm feeling this, I don't know what's going on, do you do like an intake with them and ask them questions about, well, where are you at physically? Where are you at emotionally? Where are your thoughts at? What do you do for a daily ritual, or do you not? Do you bring this into the equation when you're trying to help them figure out what they need to do, and how they need to do it?
Absolutely. And I think that is where the whole idea behind the holistic registered nurse approach came into factor because I was like, I can't just address what's going on with your physical vessel when I see the full picture.
Yeah.
I have this beautiful gift of being able to see into a person's field just by observing them, which is why I like to do in-person sessions, but remote sessions are perfectly fine for me to get a feel. But I don't like doing over the phone consultations because if I can't physically see what's going on with you, my outer vision is not going to be able to cue me into, well, this is off.
Well,
And
you're pretty clairvoyant.
yes, and now that I know how to navigate that appropriately, it's an amazing gift. But I do have a holistic approach with how I treat my clients. I want to know, what are you putting in your body? What are you surrounding your body like with? What are you mentally and psychologically? Like, where are you? What is your intake with everything that you have in your life? Everything that you have that you are bringing into your field is going to affect you. But also, everything that is consisting of your reality is what you're creating because of the vibration that you're currently at. So let me help you. Let's learn your physical, like blueprint, also what's going on with your body. But I want to teach you your own energetics based off of your human design chart, which, we'll go into that at a later date. But it really allows me to give tidbits or life hacks, keys, codes, whatever you want to call it, to these individuals to empower them. Because I'm like, long term, I don't want to be here. I'm just here to maybe have like 1 or 2 sessions with you, give you all the keys, empower you to do so, be about your merry way, and then you will continue to raise the vibration in itself by taking these things, these modalities, these tools, and then sharing them with others within reason. I mean, you can't be like, you're a sacral generator like me when they're an emotional projector, but
Yeah.
So what would you do? How would you explain this for our viewers out there that really would love to sort of begin a self-devotion process? And you Kate do so many things for your spiritual growth as well as your physical balance, right? So, but you know it all, right? Or you are in the process of knowing it all. You know a lot.
I would like to say that I know nothing at all, honestly.
But you do. So those of us who would love to start it, we obviously can't start at the level that you're at right now. How should we begin this process? What couple of things can we do just to get started?
I like to tell my clients that awareness is key when we're navigating any of this, but also, like I stated earlier, your day starts out when you wake up. You're almost like on an energetic reset every time you go through a sleep cycle. So, what tone are you going to carry with you throughout your day? Maybe set your alarm clock for 5 minutes, 10 minutes earlier than you normally would, to just not yeet yourself out of bed and hit the ground running, but put your hands on your heart and your sacral, your womb if you're a woman, and just really do a few deep breaths first thing in the morning and set the intention to cleanse your field. When I wake up, I always love to say, I release all that no longer serves me. I ask Mama Gaia to come branch up, like root up and hold me and cleanse out all that's in my field that I may have picked up from my dreamscape. I call my power back. I call upon my guides and my angels, whoever I'm working with on that day, and I set the tone. And I say, universe, please let all the most golden droplets of opportunities and soul aligned gifts, something along that line, to flow to me with grace and ease. I am open. I am receptive. Today is going to be a great day. You don't have to like wake up and do 30 affirmations off of like a YouTube video. It really just starts with awareness. It really does. It just starts with awareness and where you're at in your journey.
Right. I was going to say, don't let reaching for your phone be the first thing you do before you even
God,
get out of bed. you're still
Like,
laying there and the sleep is still in your eyes and you're grabbing for your phone.
right.
I have done that before, and I try really hard not to.
I love to just kind of nestle in first thing in the morning when I'm still in theta state and just set my intentions for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's just something about carrying chaotic energy into your day. You can only do that for so long and then realize it's kind of like, have you ever had a bad day? It started out bad, but then you decided to just put yourself in timeout and take a nap. And then when you woke up, it was almost like a complete reset.
Yeah.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
idea behind it. So, like, how do you want to carry that throughout the day? Um, Maybe even while you're in the bathroom, brushing your teeth, washing your face, just be so gentle and loving with yourself. There's just so much that compassion can do in this journey. And I used to be so hard on myself. I was so judgmental. It's so sad to even think about, really. But I do a lot of inner child work. And
Mm-hmm.
every time I start to feel like I am judging myself, I hold myself in that. I can physically like visualize in my mind's eye where the most loving and softest version of me is coming down and like encapsulating me and hugging me in that moment and being like, this is fine. You're just being affected right now in this moment, and it's not the end of the world. Like, this too shall pass, as it will. But what is it here to teach me? Where do
Mm.
I feel it? Where do I feel it in my body? I feel so many people don't check in with their bodies. And one of the most common things that I give as homework for my new clients is to, if they don't want to go outside and ground, is to massage their feet, especially in the bathtub, because there's something so weird about you being disconnected from like the lower half of your body. And then when you actually intentionally touch yourself in those areas on the bottom of the soles of your feet, you're like, whoa, that almost feels dead. Like it's not connected
Yeah.
to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
it's reflexology, so it affects the
Yes.
entire.
Right. Every single
Yeah.
organ in your body. Yeah.
So
Nice meridians.
how does what you do, Kate, how does how does it present to the world? Like, do people think, oh, she kind of went off the deep end. Now she's doing this other weird thing. Or is it, do you
Because we've all
feel
been there. People looking at us pretty strange.
or do you feel like it really is becoming integrative medicine and around the whole, at least the United States? Let's just use,
Right.
kind of what we're familiar with. Um, is it becoming more and more popular, integrative? Is it being received well? And do you feel like, where do you feel it's going? Where do you feel this is going in the near future here, the next few years? Are there going to be more and more people like Kate Day?
I hope so. I want to
Me
find
too.
my weirdo clan, my weirdo tribe. But beyond that, I think that we're making a lot of amazing advancements out of, I'm not to say that Western medicine is not applicable to anything that we go through. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. It
Yes.
absolutely is. I would not have spent as much time as I did, over a decade, in it, learning what was appropriate to bring with me over to the other side, and then finding that fusion point with allopathic and holistic care. So, yeah, it does get a little woo-woo when people are like, "Wait, you don't work in the hospital anymore? Like, what do you mean you read human design charts and you talk to water and like what?" And I'm like, "It's fine, guys. Like, I once upon a time was, I'm a recovering Catholic, whatever." So the thing is, it's like we need to advance in the most loving way. And people are catching on that the old ways of, I say the old ways because, like, you could, not really the old ways, the outdated ways of how we have done things are no longer serving us, especially with this ascension from 3D to 5D. We need to have more appropriate tools to navigate this. I have trudged through the shit and brought back the tools. Literally. My human design theme, life theme, is cross of prevention too. So I have to go through some of the most insane extremes, mostly health related, also emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, the whole holistic plethora of all of that. And then I bring back what I learned and I test dummy it on myself again a few times. And then I find people that are willing to let me share that with them. And then they try it for themselves and they're like, wow, this works. This really works. And the one thing that has worked extremely well for me that I have been utilizing with some of my clients and mentees, mostly my mentees, is ritual work. I get called into ritual by spirit, and it could be such a random thing. Like the other day, I was laying on the floor with my yoga mat, and I just so happened to have the salt that I was utilizing to like throw in my mouth that looked really bad. um, and then I was drinking my water, but I had a candle on the floor. I had some stones on the floor. I had my journal on the floor. And I was also like smoking some incense. And then I realized like I had a whole circle, protective circle around me of all the elements.
You mean
And
you mean that you lit some incense. You weren't smoking incense.
right, the incense was smoking itself.
There you go. I just know we're going to get a comment over that. I thought, okay.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right.
So then I felt the need to pull a blanket like up over me and hunch down on the floor. And it's not even fetal. I mean, yeah, it was kind of in fetal, but I wanted my womb close to the ground, almost like how it reminds me of like a bear curling up on the ground. And I felt roots branch up from the earth, from Mama Gaia, and wrap around me, almost like it was hugging me, and then push me down. And I felt something release out of my womb. And that says a lot considering I had a hysterectomy almost 8 years ago. And I realized in that moment, I was literally sitting in ritual. I was releasing things from my womb. It felt
Yeah,
very,
there was.
very old, very ancestral, very gunky. I could see it in my mind's eye. It was black and sludgy,
Mhm.
kind of just, it was gross. And I felt it. And I got physically sick afterward and ran to the bathroom. And I was like, what did I just release out of me? What was that? Spirit calls me into the craziest rituals the other night when I was brushing my teeth. And then that turned into, like 11 minutes of mirror work where I synced both my feminine and masculine side by talking to each side of my body. And every time I do one of these rituals, I immediately go and I document
That's
it. And
good.
then I call some of my mentees and I'm like, hey, you want to try something weird with me? Like, I just did this. Do this on your own time. Let me know how it goes. The feedback I get is insane. They're like,
Really.
I don't even know what that unlocked in me, what I released, why I feel so much lighter. This is crazy. Why are you not doing this professionally for a living? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I should. And then I realized, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this.
So I just want to point out that you are the founder rather of Sweet Nectar Apothecary, right?
Yes, my baby.
And I want everyone out there to know to please look that up, and we'll put the information down in the description box. But she has it all. It's pretty amazing stuff. So please go to her website and check that out. But in the meantime, let's talk just a little bit about what you do there. Like, you make everything yourself. So I'm sure there's a huge ritual that goes on with every single bottle that you make or every single batch that you make. What does that look like?
Well, first, every one of my products was a product that I utilized for myself on my healing journey, which is so crazy to think about. And I literally thought about this yesterday. I was like, wow, every single product was something that I used or my daughter used. And then I realized this is some good stuff. Like, why not share this with
With
humanity?
everybody else. Yeah, right.
Right. So it started with magnesium spray, which I utilized the 6.0 pH water from my medical grade ionizer. And that's the same pH as your skin and your hair. And I just got really scientific with it. I thought to myself, if this water is restructured and microclustered, and pretty much all of humanity is deficient in magnesium, and the most bioavailable form of magnesium that can bypass the gut and go straight into the bloodstream, because most of humanity has sludge and biofilm, so they're not absorbing their oral magnesium supplements. And I was like, I want something to bypass all that. The skin's an organ. I was like, oh, I think I got a juicy idea. I just started using myself as a test dummy for everything. Um,
That's
so I
great, though.
started,
I mean, that's even
yeah,
better to know that you and, of course, your daughter, you wouldn't put just anything, on your daughter's skin or let her
heck
ingest it,
no,
right? So,
no. But yeah, so it started with magnesium, and then it started to branch out into tinctures. Passion flower was my very first tincture love. I named her Calm Ya Tits. She is my Calm Ya Tits tincture.
that's a great
And
name.
oh man, that got me through the ass end of the pandemic so beautifully. Trust me. Especially when I was getting off of benzos. And I was like, how am I going to get off of an antidepressant and anti-anxiety meds and then not take Benadryl or Xanax at bedtime? Like, what am I going to use
Yeah,
for this? Passion flower, beautifully, so beautiful. I love her so much. Um,
I should use that
yeah,
for my sleep. I have a little bit of insomnia, and I should try that. I'll bet it works great for insomnia, right?
it does. It really does. Yeah. Let's see. So when it comes to making my products, I'm very intentional about like the when, the where, the what type of situation. So when I am called to work specifically with certain plant allies, I like to pray with them and then sit in meditation with each one. And then I like to feel them in their essence in different forms. So tea is always a really good one for me because it opens up the energetics of those plants. But I like to sit individually with each plant. Um, a couple weeks ago, it was actually like a month ago, I was really intent on working with calendula. And there's something so beautiful about her essence when she is brewed as a tea. She's kind of bitter, but I wanted to get the full essence of the plant. And when I sit with them, I ask them to make their presence known in my body. So when I say like I'm a tuning fork and a radar for these plant allies, like Mama Gaia definitely tapped me in when she decided to make me attune to all this because I feel the plant allies, specifically like where they are localized to in the energy systems. So calendula, for example, I felt her in my solar plexus and in my sacral
Mm.
with a little bit of heart nourishment.
Do you use,
And
I have to interrupt. Do you also use the moon cycles?
I do. So
Okay.
I love,
Okay.
especially if there is, you know how like people make moon water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make moon tinctures and moon salves.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
As you
moon
great.
should.
moon
I mean,
magnesium.
yeah, it makes everything more potent when you use the moon cycles. Like you should harvest, you should plant, you should,
Yes.
yeah.
And I also utilize stones. I
Yes.
imbue,
Mhm.
I like to pair stones specifically with the plant allies according to what they're vibing with. And then
Yeah.
I amplify it with clear quartz because clear quartz is
Mhm.
like the master healer. She
Yeah.
is just, you can program any intention into clear quartz, but she will amplify the crap out of any intention that you put into her.
Yes.
And yeah, I like to full spectrum utilize all of these precious gifts that we've been given by the universe to make medicine
Right.
to heal.
Because the indigenous people have been doing this for thousands and thousands of
Yes,
years, right?
the
And
ways of our ancestors, getting back to it
absolutely.
before Big Pharma and the Flexner Report of 1910 came in and just
Mm-hmm.
screwed everything up.
Right. I mean, it has its place, but it lost its place also.
Yes, we lost sight. We
Mm-hmm.
lost our way,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah. I love that, Kay. I like that you are really coming back into your wholeness and the wholeness of Gaia, and therefore spreading that the original blueprint of Gaia to everybody that you're around, because your energy has changed, your frequency has changed, and it's like the ripple effect, and that's just the way it is.
Which is exactly what happens through the ascension, right? When you are ascending from 3D, 5D, it's because you are uniting with your higher self, which in itself is a process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you got to get that vessel ready for that. And if
right.
it's not aligned,
Right.
which I find that to be such a great thing to discuss with this, because we're literally covering the grounds and all of that. Yeah. Like this is the time to get back to the earth and all of the things that she has to offer you. Please. She's been calling you.
Right. Right.
About your body's extended warranty. Like,
right.
come on, pick up.
Yeah. Right. Well said.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, like I just want to jump in my car and drive to you.
Come on, sister.
Stay with you about a week. A week.
Get you fixed up and send you on your way with all the tools.
Right. I picture myself like entering your home and just collapsing, and you there to just to help me and catch me as I fall.
ER nurse comes in, yeah.
And say, heal me. But you have so much to offer. I want the viewers out there to really understand this stuff is amazing. I mean, we know it firsthand. And please look at her website too, which I will also put down there. But what is your website?
It's the Nectar Network. But I will tag
that's
whatever I need
perfect.
to tag in order.
That's perfect. And Jen, would you like to ask your final question?
Of course I would. So, Kate, if you had one overlighting piece of guidance for health and well-being for our listeners, what would that gem be?
I don't think I have one, Jen. You know that. Okay.
It can be a concept. It can be whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be one. Don't limit yourself.
Okay. Because when I think about it, I think about there's so many modalities and components I can go into here. So I think about emotional literacy, and I think about self-regulation. I think about how when we heal our nervous systems, that it ripples back into our ancestral line years, years and years. And then I also think about if I can empower one human being, especially a woman that is like the head of the household, because let's, get it right. If she's doing everything for the home, like that is where, like, she is pouring out of her love cup. I want to teach her how to overflow that love cup. So it's never half filled, it's never empty. She always feels fulfilled. And everything that she does just by being in her own human nature and navigating naturally throughout her design with the tools that I have given, that everyone in that household it branches out like a web. I can visually see how one embodied and empowered human being affects the nervous systems and the atmosphere and the environment of everything around that person, and how it like continues to ping and branch off and it continuously, and then once again raises the collective vibration of this planet. We're all here to walk each other home. We are all here to be called into service, into our soul's true calling. And I want to be able to assist with that because I know how amazing my life is now, as opposed to how, I don't even want to say horrible, because everything that I have encountered in life has been a teaching moment for me
Absolutely.
up until this point and will continue to do so.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's perfect.
the tools matter.
Well,
Yeah.
and understanding to everybody that there's a million different ways you can do it.
Yes.
Like, I mean, what Kate has imparted today has been beautiful and wonderful, and that can be utilized. But you know, when you are just walking through the supermarket or you're walking your dog out in the park or whatever it is that you're doing, and somebody passes you, look up and give them a smile.
Right.
Because like that smile, I have a feeling we'll be able to see it and remember when we get to the other side. But the effect that that smile that we think is here now and here right now and then gone forever, that's not what happens. It resonates sort of like the throwing the rock or the pebble into the lake, and you just see it grow and grow and grow and grow. And so, and combining those things are incredible. But we all have a responsibility to help, as a collective, help us ascend. So what you said was beautiful, Kate. We really appreciate that. And you have so many beautiful gifts to offer. So many.
Thank you.
You really are
You
a
do.
beautiful person inside and out. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
I
so is your
appreciate that.
business, the business that you've created and evolved into what it is now.
A lot of evolution.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank you to all of you who have tuned into Souls on Tap. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a drop of wisdom. We'd love for you to share any thoughts you have and add any type of healing modalities that you would like us to showcase. Because remember, we're here for you. Jennifer, can you speak to our directory quickly?
Yes, if you go to www.soulsontap.com, you will find a list of all of our guests there and how to get in contact with them and what they do. That way you have that at your beck and call all the time.
And Kate's information will be there as well. So,
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
okay. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and we'll see you on Souls on Tap.